And now, with the due respect, let me bestow upon Steve Lavine the OHTLI Award 2017.
Thank you. I'm really very moved by this award. I have a few things I'd like to say. When I was 10 years old, I was on a train going from El Paso to Chicago. And there was a car added to the back of the train, which was the private car of the President of Mexico. That whole trip, us kids wanted to go back, and we never met a president of anywhere. We didn't. I never imagined what began there would end with this, which is, or not end, but arrive here. My wife, Janet Sternberg, who's a writer and photographer, was really the person who introduced me to Mexico. She ran a film video program at the Rockefeller Foundation that included Mexican artists and brought me down there. We visited Oaxaca for the first time, and I remember we couldn't leave. We made a reservation to return before we left from that first visit, and we've been going back to Mexico ever since. We find it a place of deep, deep culture, of wonderful human beings, a place that restores your faith in the world. And I have to say, living in the United States this year, we've needed all the restoration of our faith in the world that we could have. At CalArts, when I first came, we started youth programs with Plaza de la Raza and other city organizations that have now served close to 300,000 young people from Los Angeles. We started Red Cat and the Walt Disney Concert Hall, which has become the most active presenter of work from Mexico and Latin America on the West Coast of the United States. But most important, all these years, wonderful, wonderful students from Mexico have come to our college. Arturo Marquez, I'm just going to name a few names, you'll know. Arturo Marquez, the wonderful composer. Guillermo Gomez Pena, the performance artist, who was the first performance artist to win a MacArthur Award. Ruben Ortiz Torres, who was absolutely central in the LA festivals this year. Daniel Martinez. Two of our alums, Edward Abaroa and Carla Herrera Prats, took what they had learned at CalArts, joined with several other students, and started an independent college in Mexico City, SOMA, designed to deliver what here was an expensive education, and they would try to make it an inexpensive education. The list goes on and on. I just want to name two last ones. There have been two films made about the Day of the Dead. One in 2014, directed by our alumnus Jorge Gutierrez, called The Book of Life, and one that came out just a couple of weeks ago, Coco, co-directed by Adrian Molina, another graduate of CalArts. So CalArts has given us wonderful opportunities to draw closer to Mexico, and is a constant reminder of how intertwined our cultures are, of just how wrong our president is in every way. Because he is so wrong, this situation will eventually right itself, although not before a lot of human damage is done. You know, when you read statistics about Mexicans in the United States, they represent the values that the United States prides itself on representing and doesn't always do any longer. Religious faith, family, I won't go on, hard work. So I have nothing too profound to say on this subject, except that I was very glad to be able to contribute toward that connection, and especially as part of the year of Mexico and Los Angeles, to work with Pro Mexico and with the Consulate to bring together cultural leaders, political leaders from both countries to talk about how to deepen the connections that exist still further. This is the most wonderful honor I've received in what now is a long life, and I thank you very, very much.